Welcome. Shawn here with Accelerators Organization, ready for another mentor session. If you're watching this on YouTube, jump into Accelerators Organization. If you are looking for good business mentorship, that's what we're here for. Here is the first question from one of our members. This question comes from Carrington, and Carrington says, in regard to taxes, what are ways or things that should be done throughout the year to optimize savings come the next tax season? The background is I am a commercial brand photographer in Massachusetts creating content for small and medium-sized businesses. As the next year is still fairly fresh, I was wondering what should be done throughout the remainder of the year to help with savings and reduce stress come next tax season, or if there are tips and tricks to process to optimize your taxes. Okay. Well, I've never really ran the business to optimize taxes. I just ran my business. I invested in things that would produce a good ROI, especially team members. I purchased things that needed to be purchased. When I was just starting out, I didn't have a lot of money, so I was very conscientious of the things I did buy. And then whatever the tax was due, it was due. I just wanted to make sure I had a really good CPA who talked with me about all the things that I could use to take tax deduction, like parts of my house, my car, things like that. So I just want a good CPA. The way to reduce stress around taxes is to plan. Make sure that it depends on how you're paying yourself, Carrington. If you are paying yourself as a W-2 employee and paying yourself a salary and taking taxes out and paying your Social Security and Medicare from yourself and the company's matching that, that's one way. And then what you can do is you can choose 0 for the number of allowances, and that means they take out the most amount of taxes, and that way you might even get a refund depending on how much your expenses were. If you are filing as self-employed and you're just paying yourself from time to time, make sure you file your quarterly financials, and that way you are making your payments towards your tax bill every quarter, and that way at the end of the year you don't have as big of a hit. If you wait all the way to the end of the year and pay no taxes all throughout the year, it's very important to make sure that you're not thinking that the money that you're making that's sitting in your checking account is all yours. Got to remember, you're going to pay a certain percentage of taxes to Uncle Sam, and you want to be prepared for that. And I always found that the greatest way to not stress about the taxes is to just make a lot of money. It's the only substitute. Just when you make a lot of money, it still hurts to pay Uncle Sam, but you've got so much money that you just do it and you know it's an emotional thing. And so that's what I would do. Get a good accountant, pay your taxes regularly instead of just once a year, or if you're going to pay it once a year, make sure that you earmark and know that you're going to pay at least, I'm in the highest tax bracket, so I always say at least 40 to 50% I'm paying out. And so I keep that amount. So those are some things to take a look at. Okay, the next question comes from Robin, and Robin says, once I fine-tune my branding strategy on my own, is Patty available to review it and perfect it? Thank you. The answer is yes. Well, listen, hey, Robin, listen, I think Patty would be nice and she would review it, but she's not a mentor in the group. She's just a freelancer who does my graphic design. I don't want to promise you that she's going to review your stuff for you at no charge. She may do it for a fee. I don't know if she will or not. I'm more than happy to ask, but I'm very respectful of the mentors' times, any experts that I bring in. I'm very respectful of their time, and I know she wouldn't have time to review 50 different people's brand strategies and stuff. Brand strategy is not really Patty's expertise. Her expertise is in design. She's familiar and knows about brand strategy, but she is not a brand strategy expert. Neither am I. I know enough to be dangerous, but I'm not an expert at brand strategy. I have people that in my network that are brand strategy experts, and they charge somewhere between $3,000 and $10,000 to work with somebody on brand strategy. I don't know if Patty would be the number one person to review it. And I don't think that I would be the number one person. I think for what you're doing, you don't really need it. You're still just trying to figure out what the product is that you're going to sell and how you're going to sell it. Just keep down that path. Just keep down. You have a tendency to get analysis paralysis. What I would say is get out there and do like Tom says. Get out there and start selling something. Start asking people to buy your art. Get feedback. Build your email list. Make sure that you get somebody's first name, last name, email address, phone number. Get all their information, put it into a database, and then start creating some email marketing campaigns towards all these people. But get out there and start selling something. Good old Tom Black. Okay? Okay, the next question comes from Todd. And Todd says, what benefits did you add for your team first to help with retention and new talent acquisition, insurance, retirement, other? The background is we run a 3PL that stores and sends products for our customers to various e-commerce websites. We currently have 22 people on staff, most that are entry-level workers. We need to hire at least one high-level manager this year, as well as create retention among our current staff and be able to find higher quality workers with a better compensation package that includes benefits. We currently offer paid time off to all employees, as well as other various small perks throughout the year. One of the first things that we looked at was major medical insurance. When you look at major medical insurance, you can also look at group term life insurance. Most people get their life insurance through their company. It's usually anywhere from $10,000 to $50,000, maybe a little bit more, maybe 3 times salary. We did a survey of all of our team members to find out what they wanted and what they needed. And major medical was a big one. The next thing that we looked at after we got through all of the insurance benefits as well as the paid time off is we started looking at what was going to be the best retirement plan. And we chose what did we choose back in the day? I think we chose a 401k, I believe. And we matched 100% dollar for dollar up to 3% that they would put away, and then 50% of the next 2%, and capped it at 5%. That gave them 100% return on their money immediately when they invested and saved money for retirement. We also set up vesting schedules on the matching, and that kept people staying around because they wanted to get that free money, if you will. Those are a lot of things you can do. For higher level employees, we would implement higher structured bonus plans and incentive compensation that if they reached certain earmarks and milestones, they would earn extra bonuses. That kept them there. We gave everybody a bonus on their anniversary date of being with the company, whatever day it was throughout the year. We also did Christmas bonuses, and we usually did something special for their birthdays as well. So those are some ideas of things that we did in the past. All right, the next question comes from Jimmy. And Jimmy says, what long-term marketing strategies can I implement in my business today that will fill my pipeline with clients? The background is I'm a flooring contractor, and my main job is to install flooring in clients' houses. I subcontract for a flooring store, and I also work with a lead company that sells me leads. Lately, the store and the lead selling company have been slow, and I'm looking at new marketing strategies that will fill my pipeline with constant clients so that I can stay busy all the time. Okay, I would certainly do my own advertising, and I would advertise in a lot of different things in the beginning. The value pack mailers, the coupon booklets. I would have a constant ongoing advertising. I would commit to probably 6 months in all of those different forms of advertising. And on each advertisement, I would have a code, and I would make sure that I got that code whenever somebody came in. I would say, are you calling in from a coupon code? Cool, could you give me that code? And I would document every lead that came in. I would document it to figure out where I'm getting the best leads from. I remember there was a guy that I knew in your kind of business. He had phone numbers that were specific to every single advertisement he did, and that way if the number came in, he knew exactly where they got that number from. The next thing is, if it were me, I would go out there and network with every single real estate agent, every single general contractor, developer, and I would have relationships with everybody in my community that I am the flooring expert, and if you have any flooring jobs, make sure that I'm on your list to be a subcontractor. it's a numbers game. It's a networking game. It's a prove yourself. I would go try to find the high volume people out there, and I would just be networking and network. I would probably have it on my activity list that every single week I was going to reach out to a minimum of, say, 50 different real estate agents, general contractors, builders, developers, and all that stuff, just to keep my name in front of everybody. And that way they remember me when they need somebody for something. You know, people that are out there doing work. I would network with every patio guy, every concrete company, everybody, a tiling company, everybody that touches a potential client, like a homeowner. I would want to have a relationship in the community so that they knew that to reach out to me if they had any work that needed to be done. Even if I was booked, I still wanted them to reach out to me, okay? The next question comes from Kelly. And Kelly says, what are my first steps for business immediately after receiving my general engineering contract license? And should I just subcontract out the work at first? How do I build a general contractor company versus a subcontractor myself? The background is next month I'm getting my General A license for excavation, land clearing, trenching, earthwork, etc. I'm a one-man show for now. I'm really needing to get into government contracts, especially because I have the title of Disabled Veteran-Owned Small Business. State and federal set aside certain percentages of jobs strictly for businesses with my title. As of right now, I do not own any heavy equipment. If a job comes up where I need equipment, I rent it. I'm currently looking at CRMs and YouTubing everything I can to prepare for when I actually receive my license. I feel I need to hit the ground sprinting once I'm licensed. I feel that should really be a huge turning point, and I also feel like, how am I going to do this? Thanks for your time. I hope that's enough info for now. Yeah, it's a little bit confusing, Kelly. I'm not sure of your question here. You know what? I'm gathering it's like you're committing the mortal sin of business. You're opening a business with absolutely no idea how to go get customers. And so that's where my focus would be, is how are you going to get customers? That's the answer you've got to find. Every business, we have to find out, where do we go to get customers? That's got to be the number one thing that we solve as a company, is how do I get customers? And so I'm not understanding this. Should I just subcontract out the work? Do I build a GC? I'm not familiar with your business, but these are certainly questions that I would find answers to. I don't know enough about the GC business and this subcontractor stuff. I don't know enough about it myself to give you the answers on this one. And there's only one general contractor guy who's $20 million builder business experience. I'm going to get you an email introduction to Chris. He's over in Arizona, and I know that he's been looking to maybe coach a few people. But man, this email, this question sounds like you are all over the place, and you have got to get focused in knowing exactly what you're going to do, how you're going to find customers, who that ideal customer is, and what the process is of finding them, bidding it, taking on the client. Like, that's where all the work's got to be focused. This is all over the place. Get focused. Maybe see. Now, I sent out a memo on the mobile application that said, listen, we're here to help you with your business needs. You also have to go learn your industry. Unfortunately, I don't know anything about this industry, so I can't help you. I'm going to see if there's some other mentors that might, but I know Chris will. He's not a mentor, but he could be, and I'm hoping maybe he will. You've got to get out there also and network with your industry and find out what people in your industry are doing specific to your industry. Because we can't be industry experts on every type of business out there in the world. It's great when we do, but in your situation, we don't. I would highly advise you to find some people in your industry that can be advisors or mentors in your industry specific. We can help you with team building, culture, branding, your financials, how to sell it once you need to learn, once you know your process, how to go out there and sell and negotiate and things like that, build your teams. Like, we can do that, but I'm not sure about this one. Okay, I wish I did, but this tells me you need some help, and we need to get you some help from somebody in your industry that can give you specificity on what you should do. Okay, and I'm going to reach out and try to find somebody for you. This guy in the group, Chris. The next question comes from Sherry, and Sherry says, in selecting a location for your business, what are some key considerations? The background is my fitness business will require suspension from the structure, which already limits my options. Most landlords won't approve of this. I have 2 locations available currently. Location 1 offers great visibility, first gen, so more build out required, but it's a blank slate with a clearly dependable structure and generous TI allowance. It's in a newer area that's trending in our area now. However, it's a much smaller space with a considerably higher rental rate. Location 2 is in an older building with a quaint feel and is much larger space at a lower rental rate, so I have room to offer more services, adding to the bottom line. However, it's unclear if the structure can support the dynamic load required for my business without reinforcing the trusses, blah, blah, blah. Okay. You guys are just giving me some absolutely tough questions today that I just don't know the answer for. If it were me and I was in your situation, I would contact real estate agents, commercial real estate agents. Commercial real estate agents, I would try to find someone who has experience with your kind of business and your needs to help you find that space. That's one thing I would do. The next thing I would do is I would join some Facebook groups of similar type businesses that have those kind of business owners and see if there are any industry specific people that you could contact, even offer to pay them for their time in a non-competitive geographic area. So somebody who's not in competition with you, someone who has set up a business similar to yours with similar structure needs, and find out what they did and how they found their location. I know enough to be dangerous in that location is very important for certain types of businesses. This is not my area of expertise. I'm trying to think if we have any mentors that actually have retail businesses, and I don't think we have any mentors that have retail businesses like this where they would have that expertise of location. I think that Dan Abate, who I put you in touch with, who has retail experience working with franchisors in building those businesses, he will probably have some expertise. I'm going to tag him on this video to answer this for you, but I know I set up for you to talk to him already. He might have that kind of experience. But I know from watching enough business shows and going to different workshops and conferences over my 20-year business history that location is extremely important as it relates to foot traffic and ease of demographic. And when you look at a retail location, they want to know what the area of concentration is, and and that's really important. I don't know if we have anybody in the group that does something like that. Maybe Dan, but this is a tough question, and it's something that I don't have experience with personally. But that's what I would do. I would go to try to find people who have that experience and see if you can learn from them. This is industry experience business right here. Yeah, I don't know. I'll put my thinking cap on, but I don't know if I have much more to offer there. The next question comes from Kelly. What is the best process in finding the right company to go 1099 with, and how do I get them to 1099 my business? The background is I'm testing for my General A engineering license next month on the 27th. I specialize in trenching, excavation, and land clearing, road work, earthwork, etc. I'll also have the status of the state and feds set aside certain percentages of jobs to companies with this title. So after I get my construction license, it's beneficial that I get into government contracts. In the meantime, I need to create cash flow in my business. I'm a one-man shop for now. I rent equipment when it's needed for now. 1099 onto a company can create the cash flow needed for my business to buy its first piece of equipment and start to grow? Or do I just subcontract most of my work out once I have my license? Thanks for your time. Man, Kelly, you are just, I'm feeling for you how all over the place you are. And I can feel the blood in my body fuming, feeling anxious for you. I mean, gosh, I love you, man, but this is just, I don't know what to do with this. I just really don't know what to do with this, other than saying, book a get out of jail call with me and let's talk about this. Because I just don't understand your business enough to know all of this stuff that's going on in your head. And I'm feeling for you, man, but I just don't know your business well enough that I know what to say and what to do. Can you feel me getting anxious here? Like I'm so anxious for you, dude. Like you are all over the place. And my biggest frustration with you is you were in the group and doing so well, and then you just dropped off the face of the planet and didn't let us know what you were doing, what was going on. Nothing. You just dropped off the face of the planet, and you were all over the place with the Be the Buffalo, with JT, and then you just left us. And you didn't ever talk to me, and I don't know what you've been going through, and then you just come back in the group, and now you're like going full steam ahead, and you've got all this stuff you're writing, and you're all over the place, and I don't know what to do. So we need to talk, man. We need to talk and catch up, because I'm feeling in everything that you're writing that you're just lost. And we got to figure this out. And I want to help you figure it out. I care about you, but you just came back in like a bulldozer into the group asking these things. And it's like, I don't know what you've been working on. I don't know where you went. So we need to talk, man. Like, I feel for you, man. Like, let's talk. Book a call with me. Let's talk. I don't know your business at all. I don't know what you've been doing. I don't know what you're working on. I'm here for you, though, man. I'm here for you. And this is why I stress so much to every single member that the more you get in and the more you let us get to know you and what you're doing and what's going on and giving us the weekly dates on your Flex Friday, we have a better idea of what's going on in your life instead of you just bulldozing in out of the blue and going, hey, what do I do? Get involved, man. This is why we need to understand you, and that way I know who to put you in touch with. I know who to introduce you to, something. But book a call and let's talk, man, because there's a lot of red flags. A lot of red flags going in with what you're talking about here. And I want to help you fix this. I want to help you set out a plan, and I want to get with you on this. But man, I'm flustered, man. I'm just flustered. And I don't like being flustered. Like, I just don't. But man, these questions coming in today, you guys got me going. Okay, the next question comes from Heather. And Heather says, can you place an employee on a probationary pay if they receive a subpar review score? I wanted to know what the legal basis were for a probation pay in relation to a quarterly review if an employee has a subpar quarter, and how long this probation pay may last. Good night, you guys are hitting me with some fucking questions today. Holy shit. In my 30 years of doing business, I've never even heard or thought of giving somebody a probationary pay just for having a bad quarter. You guys are teaching me so much about business just in hearing these questions. I don't even understand the term probationary pay, so I don't know what that even means. I've never even heard that before. Are you saying that one of your team members has a bad quarter and you want to pay them less for a certain amount of time so they can prove themselves and then they can get paid what their normal pay rate is? Or are you saying that you're going to put somebody on probation for a certain amount of time and you're going to clearly give them the things that they need to succeed? You're going to retrain them. You're going to work with them. and hopefully they step up and then they keep their job. I understand for sure putting people on probation after they have a bad quarter. But my thought goes to, what did you do during the 90 days that this person was performing poorly? Were you not talking with them? Were you not meeting them? Were you not retraining them? Were you not finding out what's going on in their personal life to figure out if is something going on in their personal life that's making them act subpar? You hired them, so you should know if they're capable of doing the job. How long have they been working for you? Has it been 10 years and now finally out of the blue, out of a quarter, they have a subpar review? Like, there's so much more that I would need to understand. I would have to get with an HR person, company like Marcia, to know if you could just literally dock somebody's pay for a certain amount of time in order to work with them. That would be a serious legal issue, and I wouldn't even attempt to do that as an employer. I would put them on probation but see, here's the thing. I don't know why it has to get to a quarterly review in order for you to go, I'm going to put you on probation. You see these employees every day as a small business owner, or at least your manager does. If somebody is doing subpar performance today, I want to get with them today and find out what's going on. I don't want to wait for a quarterly review. A quarterly review is more about just a check-in with the teammate every quarter, just to give them a review, because maybe you have a quarterly bonus attached to their job. But if somebody is being subpar on a daily basis, I want to work with that team member like today. I want to have daily huddles. I want to find out what's going on. I want to pull them into my office and say, hey, Joe, hey, Terry, hey, Jane, how are you doing? Is everything okay? And they're going to go, yeah, everything's okay. Well, well, what's going on with you? Like, why are you, what's going on? I feel like something's going on in your life right now. Now, I would know this because I've worked with this person for an extended period of time, so I know whether or not they can do the job, and they usually do. Something's going on. I want to empathize with them and find out what's going on in their life, like what's going on. Usually, it's going to take asking them the questions a couple times to get them to open up. You know in your heart as a business owner if somebody is being, what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word I'm looking for? I'm flustered. I can't think of the word just because I'm so flustered right now. It's insubordinate. When somebody is being insubordinate, they know the rules, they know what they're supposed to do, and then they're insubordinate and they choose to not do it. You know when that person is doing that. I want to talk to that person immediately. I don't want it to fester. I don't want to wait for a quarterly review. I want to talk to them on a daily basis and find out what's going on in their life. From a legal perspective, Heather, if you want to dock somebody's pay for a certain amount of probation, that's a legal issue, and I'll get with an attorney, an HR attorney, or an HR person who knows the laws. If you want to put somebody on probation, I would also work with a human resources person. You've got 20-something employees right now. You should already be contracting a human resources person like Marcia or somebody else. For you to have 24, 22 employees and not have a dedicated outsourced HR person, I think that's something I would do immediately. You've got enough people on your payroll right now that HR is going to be a big issue for your company. And you're going to have things come up. I would hire Marcia or somebody else. And I would go down that process. But I would also implement a lot of the things that you've learned in the team building workshops that we've done here. Daily huddles, getting the issues right away, retraining if needing, reinforcing your core values, reinforcing your processes, everything you're doing. If somebody isn't performing, you or your manager should know what the problem is. Are they being insubordinate, or is something going on at home that is preventing them from being their best employee? And get to the bottom of it. Don't wait for a quarterly review. Okay. Ooh, you guys are giving me some good questions today. You guys are like, we're gonna test Shawn today. We're gonna test Shawn today. I can't wait to hear some of the mentors answer these questions, because I'm going to get some other mentors on this. I don't know if it's me today, if I'm off my A game, or if these are just tough questions today, but I'm going to get on it. Okay, the last question comes from Alex. And Alex says, how do I enforce a cell phone policy? I have a landscape business. Last year, any spare minute, guys would be on their phone. I am not dealing with that this year. I was going to put in the handbook, if I catch someone on their phone 3 times in a week or a month, they are fired. I don't mind them being on their phone during lunch or while riding to the job. No cell phone. Once we're at a job site or while loading and offloading tools, I just can't afford to pay people to be on their phone. The time is always ticking. You know, hey, this is a very, 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 very common thing, especially with younger people these days, and depending on the type of people you've got working for you. Now, remember this, Alex. And I'm going to get Marcia to answer this, and you may want to book a consulting call with Marcia on this as well. I don't know if you have W-2 employees or 1099. There are certain ways that you can control what someone does and what they can't do depending on the employment with your company. If they are employees, W-2, then yes, there are certain things you can do. And I would certainly, before you implement something like this, that you get with an HR person and know exactly what you can and can't do, then I would set up processes. First time is and this can be in your employee handbook. The first time is a verbal warning, and it actually, you give them a verbal warning, but they sign off on it. The next time is a written warning. The third time is a written warning that if they don't change the next time that they do it within a certain amount of time, they get fired. It's that simple. I love having the processes set up of what this type of situation, of how it's going to be handled. And as long as you hire somebody and you give them a handbook, you tell them they need to read the handbook, go through it, sign each page, that they read each page, and that they understand it. That way, when they do it in the field, you might, without a verbal warning, you might say, hey, listen, Joe, as a reminder, while we're out here working, no cell phone, no texting, no nothing. If you have any kind of emergency going on that you do need access to your phone, just let me know in the morning. The day of the job, let me know that you've got something going on with your kid or your wife or your family or whatever, and that you might need to get on your phone, and that you'll let me know that that's the case. That's simple. Just as a reminder. Now, the next time it happens, then you'll be like, hey, Joe, I reminded you, you didn't tell me. Listen, man, I gotta write you up. If they do it over and over, you know, this is where somebody is intentionally saying, I don't care about your rules. And sometimes they're making a decision to free up their future. I'm sure that there's many companies like yours that go through this. This is where it's really important to build the team camaraderie of is it costing you money? What's making somebody want to get on their phone? Like, if it were me and I was their boss and I was out there doing a job with them during the day, at lunchtime I'd be like, you know, man, I saw you on your phone quite a few times today. We did a good job today, but I saw you on your phone. Tell me what's going on. Like, seriously, I don't want to micromanage you. I want to do good work for our customers. I want to get paid good money. I want to love the work I do. Man, you know, every time you check your phone, even if it's just for a couple minutes, if I add that up at 10 times a day, that's 20 minutes. I pay you $30 an hour. That's $10 out of my pocket for you to check your phone. I want you guys to understand that I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm paying you to do work, right? I will give you breaks when you need them, and you can be on your phone all you want. I will get you lunch breaks. Do all you want. But time is money. I bill out based on the amount of time it's going to take to do a job. If we get done quicker, maybe, Alex, maybe if you say it should take us 4 hours to get this job done, hey guys, if we can get it done in 3 hours, I'll give everybody a 5% bonus or a $10 gift card or a $20 gift card, because you're billing out based on time probably as well with your client. So the faster you get things done and the faster your guys get things done, or team, because there might be some girls, you know, maybe you can incentivize them. That'll keep them off their phone. You know, so, and also remember, you're obviously probably dealing with, you know, non-educated book, at least college-educated laborers, you know, there's going to be a little bit of authority issues and those types of things. The more you get to know these guys and the more they like you and the more that they know you're generous, you're generous, but you're not going to be taken advantage of. Those types of conversations are things to instill with your team. I think if you got too gung-ho right out of the gate from a policy perspective, you're probably going to lose a lot of people that you might not need to. It's going to take time for you to build a relationship with the guys and your team to make sure that they know that you've got their back. If somebody's on their phone a little bit, you know, there's a thing. When the cat's away, the mice will play. So you're not going to be able to micromanage them when you have teams going out and doing jobs and you're not there. What I want to do as a boss, as a manager, as an owner, I want to know that the job's getting done to the right specification and quality in the right amount of time that it's supposed to. If I guesstimate that my team should get this done in 5 hours, I send them out. They're there from 9 o'clock, so 10, 11, 12, take a break, 2, 3, so they should be done by 3 o'clock, let's just say, if that's 5 hours. Forgive my math. If they get done from 9 to 5 or 9 to 3 and they got the job done, does it really matter to me if they spent an hour on their phone, checking TikTok, checking social media? I don't care. I don't care. Let me give you an example. When I had salespeople, and Shirley will attest to this, who, you know, Shirley. When I had salespeople, I gave them quotas each month and each quarter and each year. And I told my sales team, I said, if you reach your quota by the 20th of the month, take the rest of the month off. I don't care. I don't care. Take the rest of the month off. You can have 10 days vacation every single month if you get your quota done by, because I did my annual projections. And if we met our annual projections, we were kicking butt and I was making good money. And I had salespeople who were driven by money. Most salespeople are driven by money. So they're like, hey, I'm going to get my quota in because I gave them an incentive bonus. I said, if you meet your quota, every amount of over quota, you're going to get an incentive commission. So I had team members that, man, they wanted to reach that quota as fast as possible so they could get into bonus territory. But for me, the bonus territory was a bonus for me as well. If they want, as long as they reached their quota, they kept their job. So it's like, if you tell your team, if you guys get this done in a certain amount of time, I'm happy. Just get it done, reach the quality that we want, and we're good to go. Maybe not worry about them being on their phone. This is something to take into consideration, right? Now, I understand if you're out in the field with them and you're wanting to get it done, keep that in the back of your head. As long as we're reaching the timelines that we want for a specific project, is it really that big of a deal if somebody's on their phone for a minute or two? Or is it 10 minutes? Is it 20 minutes? Those are some things to kind of think about. I'm not saying it's okay for them to be on their phone. I actually hated it. We actually, at our last company, we had everybody on company computers. We actually had to block Facebook and certain websites so that people that used our work computers couldn't even access those sites, because I got tired of it too. During March Madness was the freaking worst. So many of the guys wanted to keep up with March Madness and they were going and checking all the scores on their computers, and it used to piss me off so much. I'm like, come on guys, I'm paying you. And so all of this stuff has to do with the type of culture that you're building, the core values of your company, the camaraderie and the team building that you've got, that people have your back. People want to get stuff done for you. They're incentivized. They're making good money. You're a good guy to work for. These are all things that just take time to build. And those relationships with those team members do take time. So be conscientious that in the beginning you do want to set the tone that there's nothing on your phone, and maybe the new guys won't do it. When the old guys do it in front of the new guys, you go to the old guys and say, hey guys, for the first 2-3 weeks, I'm really setting an example with the new guys. Can you work with me here? Don't be on your phone so much. If you see some of the new guys do it, lead by example. Build those teams up, because remember, the growth of your company is going to come from one of your people in the field, one of your team members becoming a team leader and leading a crew, so that you can then develop a second crew and a third crew. And those are things for you to start building in the company, all right? All right. Whew, what a session today. I hope you guys got some value out of this. I am going to take a couple of these questions, especially from Kelly, and I'm gonna see what I can do to get you introduced to Chris over in Arizona. Okay, Kelly? I don't know if you also spoke with Tim Littleton, I think is his last name. He is a general contractor. I'll go into the Facebook group and I'm going to tag you guys, and you guys should talk. But Kelly, you got a unique situation going on here. We've got to help you put together a real plan of attack where you're patient and you've got milestones that you want to reach and goals that you want to achieve. And this will keep some of this anxiety down. And please stay involved in the group, okay? All right, I will see you guys later. Peace out. Have a great day.